Good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. So excited to be with you. People, I am really excited about this report. So this Fani Willis report is going to, just so you know, I've got different videos. I've got a tape recording of a phone call she made. So we're going to go through that evidence. I also want to talk specifically about something really big going on in Georgia, dealing with the election apparatus down there. So we're going to talk about that, but I'll save that to the end. I want to get to this Fani Willis. There's no way Fani Willis is going to survive this, people. She's going down. I don't just bookmark this statement from me right now. Now, that doesn't mean that Fani won't get promoted by a Democrat to, she'll probably end up being, I don't know, a judge on the Supreme Court under the Biden administration. I'm not even kidding you. But in this case, she is going down. She's losing the case. This whole thing is falling apart, and I'm going to prove it to you on this episode. So please do smash that like as you come in. Do chat in with where you're from. Share the stream out there. This is great news to get out. I'm going to share a really crazy video from Fani first, but before I do have to mention my sponsor, that's Midas Gold Group, MidasGoldGroup.com. You can text Lumberjack to 232-425. Or you can go to MidasGoldGroup.com, or you can call them, and I got the number right here, actually, and this is a 1 ounce gold maple leaf, but at 480-360-3000. Again, that's 480-360-3000. I love Midas Gold Group because it's veteran owners. They're not commissioned salespeople. You're dealing with the owners when you call in there, and they're great folks. So, all right, I'm going to start with this really funny video, and I'm going to try not to interrupt this because it makes me laugh so hard. So here we go. This is a campaign video from Fani Willis from 2020.
Is a office of
hold on. There we
the
go.
district attorney's office in Fulton should be the beacon of the Southeast. It should be the absolute best office between Washington, D.C. and Miami. And right now what you have is a office of dysfunction and corruption, and we deserve better. And I am the right choice to improve it.
Corruption, Ms. Willis, that's a strong word to level against the office that Paul Howard has run for nearly a quarter century. If he gets reelected, it'd be more than 25 years.
You have a DA sitting there that doesn't have the qualifications and the experience to do the job. What I can guarantee you is with my reputation, with my community ties, I am going to be able to attract the best and the brightest minds to that office. You're sitting with someone today that actually wants to make a difference because they deserve a DA that won't have sex with his employees.
Stop. I can't. Did you catch the line? Let me just go back a couple seconds here. She's talking about how, and this other gal's like, oh, I can't believe you're leveling this charge about corruption against the DA. I mean, it's 25 years, like that has anything to do, like they become less corrupt the longer they've been in there. When have you seen that happen? Anyways, here we go again.
DA that won't have sex with his employees because they deserve a DA that won't put money in their own pocket when it should go to benefit children, because we deserve better.
Okay. Don't worry. That's not the receipts video, folks. That's not the receipts I'm bringing to you today. But I thought it was absolutely pertinent that we get that video out there. She is literally saying that they deserve someone who's not going to have sex with someone in the DA's office, and that they deserve someone who isn't going to rob money from them. Please smash that like. Let's get this out there. I've only got 1,124 on right now, but we got to get this out. So she's getting impeached, people. So Fani Willis is getting impeached. I'm going to show you on that. And I love the chat. Thanks so much. Yeah, it is a wow moment, that video in and of itself. But now I'm going to share with you another piece. Now, interestingly, Brian Kemp changed a law. Brian Kemp, no friend of Donald Trump, changed a law that's going to help this all happen. We'll get into that. I've got a bunch of articles we're going to pull from, but I want you to watch this
week, arguing that the only way for Willis.
Oh, hold on.
I would be surprised if the House doesn't pass articles of impeachment against her.
Georgia State law and ethics professor Clark Cunningham says Georgia's bar for impeachment is relatively low.
Okay, so now watch this. I want you to catch what's going on here. He just said that the article the qualifications, the requirements for impeachment are relatively low. So that's the story the mainstream media is going to run right now. This is showing up in the New York Times, which is the old gray lady, obviously one of the most biased newspaper organizations in the country. So I'm going to restart that. But now I want you to think about the fact that they're going to run this narrative because they know right now they're already admitting she's getting impeached. But the rest of this video is even more telling.
I would be surprised if the House doesn't pass articles of impeachment against her.
Georgia State law and ethics professor Clark Cunningham says Georgia's bar for impeachment is relatively low. He authored an op-ed in the New York Times this week, arguing that the only way for Willis to avoid losing the case would be to take a leave of absence.
If the disqualification happens, a new prosecutor is appointed. If she's removed by impeachment, the governor appoints a new prosecutor. So the only way she could guarantee that her office stays in control of this case is by taking a leave.
Did you catch that? So what do they want her to do? They want her to step down. They want her to take a leave right now because they know this is coming. It's happening.
And Clark says if she wanted to, she certainly has the leverage to do it, given the multitude of swatting attempts and threats that she has been the victim of since this all started. Now, she will be here in Fulton County Court on February 15th, where a judge will decide just exactly what to do about these allegations and as far as keeping her on the case.
She's not going to be on the case. I'm going to show it here. Well, I'm not. I'm going to save this. I've got kind of a bombshell audio here, but I'm going to save that. We're going to go through a couple of other things first. Okay, so here we go. Fani Willis subpoenaed. Okay, so I don't know if you guys caught this news yesterday, but Fani Willis subpoenaed for hearing on misconduct allegations in Trump Georgia case. An anticipated hearing over allegations that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis engaged in improper personal relationship with the lead prosecutor in the election interference case. Wait, I thought the people of Georgia, Fulton County, Georgia, deserved to have a prosecutor who doesn't have sex with their employees. Okay, but here we are. Okay. With subpoenas issued seeking the sworn testimony of Willis and others in a proceeding that is likely to determine whether the case proceeds. This case is proceeding, people. There was way too much. The goods are there. An attorney for Mike Roman, the Trump co-defendant who first leveled misconduct allegations against Willis, and special prosecutor Nathan Wade more than 3 weeks ago, has subpoenaed both to testify under oath at February 15th evidentiary hearing on this motion to disqualify them from the case and have charges against Roman dismissed. So again, this is, you can go back to the people who took plea deals. Jenna, yes, I'm going to impersonate her again. If I'd only known now, then if I'd only known then what I know now, I just would have done. You know, come on, Jenna, you look like the biggest idiot on the face of God's green earth right now because Fani Willis is getting DQ'd here, okay? This whole thing is crumbling like a house of cards right now in Georgia. And if you can't get excited about that, you can't get excited about anything. I understand, Judge Engeron. I get the whole deal with what's her name, E. Jean Carroll. But this right now, people, you need to be cheering because this is the case that the hopes were pinned on. Jack Smith's case is falling apart. Okay, he doesn't have an insurrection charge. The documents case is falling apart. This is what all the hopes were pinned on by the media. And that's why The View got so pissed off the other day about Fani Willis and why they went on a tirade on her, that video I shared the other day, because they cannot believe that they're going to lose the one case that they had pinned all their hopes on because this lady is so corrupt. Not that they necessarily had a great case anyways, but the issue, you don't understand, their anger is leveled now. They're going to take this woman out, and it's just beautiful to see the left turning upon itself, okay? But back to this. So has subpoenaed both to testify. The judge is going to make them testify, people. They're going to have to testify. Fani Willis has to testify. Okay, it gets better. So the Fani Willis impeachment moves one step closer. Georgia Republican Senator Colton Moore has said the state's vote on Friday to create a special committee to investigate Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis is the first step towards impeaching and defunding this corrupt prosecutor. They're going to vote on Friday, okay, to create the special committee, and it is going to happen, people. It's happening, Okay, so the investigation there is starting on top of this other deal that's going on in court. This is a mountain, but don't worry, I've got something else coming for you. Okay, but let me get through this first. Willis is overseeing the prosecution of former President Donald Trump in Georgia over allegations he acted illegally to overturn the state's results. The legal team of Michael Roman, okay, as we already talking about a conflict of interest, Willis has yet to comment on the claim she engaged in a romantic relationship with Wade. What does it mean, people, when they do not comment? In the chat, please, right now, what does it mean when they do not comment? Does it mean that they're innocent and they're just withholding comment? Okay, this would be an easy yes or no. Okay, this isn't like, having to plead the fifth because of other things that they might try to use to implicate you. I am talking, if somebody is not guilty of something like this, what are they going to do? They're going to come out and say, no way, I'm not guilty. I didn't do it. Exactly, everybody. They're busted. They're busted. She is busted, okay? So that's why she has yet to comment on this, okay? Newsweek has reached out to Willis. Newsweek isn't getting their comment either. On January 26th, the Georgia Senate voted 30-19. I covered that. Remember, I did a live stream in my car. I was so excited to launch the special committee to investigate Willis's conduct, though it can't directly sanction the district attorney. It doesn't matter. The more this stuff comes out, Fani's going down. That the left is already calling for her removal right now. Here's where it gets really nuts. And I've got the audio from this. But Fani Willis axed employee who blew whistle on misuse of federal funds. Okay. So she has a pattern of ethical violations. I'm going to play the tape for you in just a second. Fani Willis may have fired the employee who warned her about mishandling federal funds, but she didn't deny her allegations. Less than a year into her tenure as Fulton County District Attorney in 2021, Willis met with Amanda Timpson, an employee in the district attorney's office responsible for giving nonviolent juvenile offenders alternatives to the juvenile court system. During their conversation, a recording of which was reviewed by the Washington Free Beacon, Timpson claimed to Willis that she had been demoted after attempting to stop top Willis campaign aide from misusing federal grant money meant for youth gang prevention initiative. Okay. Now, we're not going to go through the transcript here, but I want to get down to this part. Less than 2 months later, Willis abruptly terminated Timpson and had her escorted out of her office by 7 armed investigators. This sounds exactly like the Department of Injustice in the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Injustice, going to people's homes. Okay, this is what happened to this lady who's a whistleblower, and you're going to hear the tape in just a second. But let's get through this. When Timpson filed a whistleblower complaint the following year that alleged wrongful termination, Willis's office issued a statement describing Timpson as a holdover from the prior administration who was terminated because of her failure to meet the standards of the new administration. What standards, Fani? What standards? The standards of taking cruises with your, prosecuting attorney? Those kind of the standards, those high standards you set. Okay, I remember the video I played at the beginning. If you guys are getting in on this stream late, there was a video at the beginning. I'll play it later in the show again for you. Okay, because it's going to be better after we go through all of this stuff. Okay. Timpson's experience sheds further light on how Willis, who campaigned on the promise of restoring integrity to the district attorney's office, does business. The Democrat has come under fire amid revelations that she tapped her lover, Nathan Wade, to handle the office's racketeering case against former President Donald Trump. Willis is also alleged to have misappropriated taxpayer funds to facilitate her affair with Wade, a married man with scant prosecutorial experience. And remember, in that thing we watched too, she talked about how it was all going to be better, better employees, everything. So, here, I told you I'd play the tape. Let's do that first before we go on to this next part. Okay, so here you go. This is the tape we were just discussing.
Give me a sentence. What is the sentence theme?
Once I told him about his, respectfully and in an email, about his lack of leadership and the fact that he wanted to do things with grants that were impossible.
Again, this is the voice of Amanda Timpson. I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but this is the lady that got canned by Fani Willis. Please smash that like. Let's see if we can get this stream up over 3,000 people and chat in with where you're from. Thank you.
And I kept telling him, like, we can't do that, and questioning stuff. He would take me off projects, tell people I wasn't doing what I was supposed to because I questioned him. Because I understood, I helped write that grant. I knew what was in that grant. He told everybody in front of Crystal, Deontay, everybody, we're going to get MacBooks, we're going to do that, we're going to get swag, we're going to use it for travel.
Isn't that wild? We're going to get MacBooks, we're going to get swag, we're going to use it for travel. This is a grant that is supposed to be appropriated for specific things. Amanda Timpson is blowing the whistle, and Fani Willis cans her.
I said, you cannot do that. It's a very, very specific grant. Took me off. I questioned Junior DA. There's kids in there from out of the county, all this. Took me off Junior DA. I did not want to do it. He made it look as if I wasn't doing what I needed to do because I questioned him. Because I knew for a fact Mr. Cuffey respectfully did not know what he was doing, period.
So I respect that is your assessment. It was clear to me that you and Mr. Cuffey were not getting along. And I'm not saying that your assessment is wrong. I want you to really listen to the words I'm saying.
Cuffey, and this is my personal opinion, to one woman to another, is dangerous to your administration. He tells people, when I reached out to you, he told me, oh, you think your word is safe? Exactly when you reached out to Miss Willis, she called me and told me, she tell me everything. So once you reach out to her, she's going to reach back out to me.
Did you catch that? So she's afraid already of of Fani Willis being contacted, and the very thing that she's trying to do here by blowing the whistle, coming back to bite her in the butt, which it did 2 months later, she was canned. Okay, I saw somebody say that YouTube's banning certain words in the chat. I will tell you, my channel is set. If you're trying to lace it with Effenheimers and cuss words, it will filter it out. I don't want a bunch of cussing on my channel. So that's that. I don't know if that's what the words were, but just so you know.
So I didn't even go to HR because he put Dexter's name on my PDP, and I didn't even feel safe going to anybody.
Can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
I had 3 supervisors that have failed in this building. What's interesting to me, because I'm in a learning curve too, they each pretend to have a relationship with me that they do not have.
I wonder now, though, what about Mr. Wade? Does he pretend to have a relationship he doesn't have, Fani?
I guess that's an intimidation tactic. I'm sorry that you felt that way, but you, Dexter certainly don't have no relationship with Michael Cuffey. You were safe to go those places.
Was she safe to go those places, people? Was she safe to go those places? Because look at what happened to her. Okay, I'm telling you, the mountain of evidence that is coming out against Fani Willis is bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's now almost 3,200 people on the stream. So people who joined early, just bear with me. This video is solid gold. I'm going to share it again. This is a 2020 campaign video from Fani Willis. This is an interview during her campaign.
District Attorney's Office in Fulton should be the beacon of the Southeast. It should be the absolute best office between Washington, D.C. and Miami. And right now what you have is a office of dysfunction and corruption, and we deserve better. And I am the right choice to improve it.
Corruption, Ms. Willis, that's a strong word to level against the office that Paul Howard has run for nearly a quarter century. If he gets reelected, it'd be more than 25 years.
You have a DA sitting there that doesn't have the qualifications and the experience to do the job. What I can guarantee you is with my reputation, with my community ties, I am going to be able to attract the best and the brightest minds to that office. You're sitting with someone today that actually wants to make a difference because they deserve a DA that won't have sex with his employees, because they deserve a DA that won't put money in their own pocket when it should go to benefit children, because we deserve better.
We do deserve better. The people of Fulton County, Georgia certainly deserve better than what they got with Fani Willis. They do deserve an office that isn't full of promiscuity between employees. They certainly deserve that. But now let's go on to the next thing. District Attorney Fani Willis can potentially be removed or disciplined based on the law signed by Georgia Governor Brian Kemp 3 months ago. Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp signed a bill in May that will allow for the removal of elected district attorneys from office. The newly enacted law, Senate Bill 92, establishes a statewide prosecuting attorneys statewide qualifications commission vested with the power to investigate complaints against district attorneys and, if warranted, remove them from office. The grounds for discipline, removal, or involuntary retirement of a district attorney or solicitor general listed in the bill include, here we go, mental or physical capacity interfering with the performance of his or her duties, okay, which is likely to become permanent, willful misconduct in office. With respect to district attorneys, willful and persistent failure to carry out duties pursuant to Code Section 1518.6. With respect to solicitors general, willful and persistent failure to carry out duties pursuant to code, conviction of a crime involving moral turpitude, people. Fani is going down. She is going down. We may not get the justice we seek because she should be behind bars most likely, but she is going down. She will not be there. Even Democrats are now calling for her removal because they have their hopes pinned on this case. And here's the problem. If they remove her now, there is no way they will get the verdict they want before the election. I want to make this abundantly clear. This case will not get Donald Trump. So liberals, if you're on the chat, go cry. Go get yourself a MyPillow. Here, I got a promo code, baby. MyPillow.com, promo code Lumberjack, so you can sleep and cry in your freaking tears because the assault on Donald Trump, a man who did not do anything wrong in this case, and your willfulness to cheer on with glee his demise by people like E. Jean Carroll and Stormy Daniels and whomever else, just because you don't like his politics and you want to call him a freaking Nazi. Okay, get yourself a MyPillow, promo code Lumberjack, and cry yourself to sleep because Fani Willis is going down. All right. Sorry, got a little off on a tangent there, people. I got my promo code in there too. Get over MyPillow. Nobody's done more for election integrity than Mike Lindell. Nobody. Support him. My store. Get some of his coffee. I love his coffee. It's good stuff. Knowingly authorizing or permitting an assistant district attorney or assistant solicitor general to commit any act constituting grounds for removal under paragraphs 1 through 6 of this subsection. So not only did she do it, but then authorizing another to do it. Fani Willis is going down. This measure comes at a critical time as Fani Willis, a Democrat serving as the Fulton County District Attorney, is actively investigating former President Donald Trump in questioning the 2020 election. It's an inquiry that echoes the years-long efforts by Stacey Abrams and other Democrats who have been raising similar concerns and challenging election integrity. So Democrats should actually be cheering this on, not cheering for Trump's demise. On to the next one. People, I've got a big story here too on Georgia. Gosh, it's already 23 minutes into this stream. All right, I'm going to run through this real quick. Former federal prosecutor Andrew Cherkosky joined Sunday Night in America with Trey Gowdy to discuss allegations Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis inappropriately spent state tax money on the prosecution of former President Trump. Okay. Already catching heat over claims she hired alleged romantic partner Nathan Wade to prosecute Trump in Georgia's election interference case, but new unsealed court documents surrounding Wade's divorce case are generating even more questions. Even if these allegations are true, does it impact the state of Georgia versus Donald Trump? And if so, how? I'm not sure, this is the response, if this is more soap opera or like a John Grisham legal thriller, because the cards seem to be falling for Fani Willis. He expressed the need for a thorough investigation, reports suggesting meetings. We all know this is taking place. Okay. He underscored the significance of determining the role of these White House meetings in order to understand if there was any directive from the top to manipulate the prosecution of the former President Trump. She's going down, people. She's going down. And now we're going to get to the last Georgia story because you guys are going to love this. You election integrity people, you fighters who followed my channel since back in the day. Oh, I've got another. Actually, I'm going to bring in a quick video before we get into this. I want to show you just how desperate the Democrats are. Watch this hack on MSNBC.
And that's what is so rare, right? You don't see the Fed chair get in front of a podium and say, this economy is strong. And that's what we're seeing. I mean, just yesterday, the Washington Post saying inflation is cooling. The economy is growing. This is the best recovery in the world. So for any Republicans who want to continue to try to keep battering the economy, yes, life is expensive. You can't argue that. This is a strong economy. That's one of the reasons you see them pivoting so hard to immigration. They just can't keep beating on the economy.
Real quickly, people, I just want to tell you how, by the way, there's a comment in the chat. I'm going to just really quickly. Somebody said Brian Kemp will do nothing. It doesn't matter what Brian Kemp does. The fact is Brian Kemp can't stop it. The fact is Brian Kemp already created the law. And the fact is Brian Kemp, I have valuable intel from Georgia. He wants to run for the U.S. Senate. He can't not do something. You have to understand the political realities Brian Kemp is facing. I am not saying Brian Kemp's a good guy. I'm not saying Brian Kemp's a good guy because he's all of a sudden concerned about the border. Brian Kemp is an opportunist. He's not a good guy. End of story, okay? They are tools, people. Stop thinking of these people as heroes or not. Even the ones you think are good. Stop thinking that way about them. I've really come to this conclusion over the last few years of doing this. Do not think about these people that way. Think about them as simply giving you the votes you need to allow freedom to persist in America. Just whether or not they're going to abide by the Constitution, because we're going to take them to task if they don't. Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? Now, how many of you, I do want to ask this question for the chat. After watching that last video, how many of you feel the economy is just freaking hot for you right now, huh? The recovery is so strong. Did you hear that, gal? Yes, things are expensive, but it's the greatest recovery ever. Okay? Economy sucks in California. Art says that. So I got one comment. What about Taylor Swift? Like, gosh, I wish people would quit even talking about her. It sucks. She want to pay my food bill. That's right, Susie. See, this is the thing. I mean, they talk. The reason they talk like this is because they're insulated from it. These hacks are getting paid, $500,000 a year. They are not feeling the same pinch that you or I are feeling. Okay. They're not. Okay. So anyways, hopefully I made my point on Brian Kemp, but we got bigger news out of Georgia, really. Well, I don't know if it's bigger. It's big. Amy Totenberg. People, I'm going to try and get this to come up bigger for you. Let me see how that's showing on the screen. Yeah, that's doing pretty good. I can go a little bigger for you right there. Is that good? I got to switch back and forth between screens. All right, here we go. What does the left always do every time something isn't going their way? Meaning, Fani Willis, meaning any of these other people, they always say a recipe for violence. This is going to foment violence. Election officials are on edge for ruling from Georgia judge. Atlanta District Judge Amy Totenberg is weighing an order from the bench to mandate additional protections to Georgia's 2024 vote, as many election officials urge her not to do so. So, what the heck is that anyways? Because I thought these people weren't supposed to be talking to the judge. So now we've got election officials trying to weigh in on the case down in Georgia because Amy Totenberg up to this point has heard the whole thing. She witnessed right there in the court. What's his name? The guy who wrote the report, starts with an H. Hallenberg. No, I can't remember. I want to say Schellenberg right now, but that's not it. You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyways, he's in the courtroom and he hacks the Dominion machine with a ballpoint pen. But that was then there's something, the something bunny hack and all this other stuff that could change everything all at once. So they have proven in the court that these systems are easily corruptible. And so now we've got election officials weighing in with the judge. How is that working? So anyways, let's read this. This is from Politico. So this is a left-wing hack, okay? 5 years ago, because right now it looks like Amy Totenberg is going to give a ruling to get rid of ballot marking devices minimally and maybe the other machines in the state of Georgia. Happening right now, people. This decision can take place. So if you want to do something in Georgia, maybe you should go out and protest in the streets to get rid of election machines. 5 years ago, U.S. District Judge Amy Totenberg won plaudits from U.S. election officials for forcing Georgia to ditch its electronic voting machines because they were too susceptible to hacks. Okay, so that was 5 years ago, people. Then what happened? Brad Raffensperger went and spent over $100 million of Georgia taxpayer money to get a whole new suite of Dominion machines that are the ones that were hacked in the court the other day. Okay? Smash the like if you would, please, and chat in with where you're from if you're new to the stream. Or just chat with anything. It really helps. Now Totenberg is weighing a similar order against the state's new machines. Only this time, a slew of election officials are begging her not to do so. Why should they have any influence on the outcome of this case with the judge? Current and former officials from both parties at the local, state, and federal level argue that Georgia's current voting machines are far less prone to sabotage than their predecessors, which didn't produce any sort of paper record. But most of all, more than a dozen officials stressed their dread that ordering changes just months ahead of the 2024 presidential vote could undermine trust in the election, overwhelming local election officials and emboldening election deniers all in one breath. Oh no, people, you don't need to, get people more distrustful of this system. Look at the polling out there right now. Even Democrats, over half of Americans don't trust these machines. So the only right thing to do then to restore faith, to restore faith in democracy, we're a constitutional republic, but let's just go with them, to restore faith in democracy is to get rid of these things and go to hand-marked paper ballots and count them in front of everybody like they do in Taiwan, holding them up so there's transparency for all to see, just like we do at a precinct caucus when we're taking straw polls, or like when they do down in Iowa and vote. They write a name on the paper and they count it openly in front of everyone. Forcing changes so close to the November ballot is a recipe for unrest and potentially violence, said Tara Tyndall Gazelle, the lone Democrat on Georgia's state election board, which is a defendant in the case. The civil trial kicked off on January 9th, and it goes on about the case. That means public confidence in the 2024 election in a key swing state rests to an unusual degree on this one judge who must make shrewd judgments about the increasingly thin line between real election day risks and hyped up harms. So this is Politico again. And while fears of Russian election interference were high at the time of Totenberg's earlier ruling, the stakes this time are much more concrete. The people and technology at the heart of the court battle are now at the center of former President Donald Trump's continued allegations that the 2020 election was stolen. Wait, read this, people. Did you just catch what I read in there? While fears of Russian election interference were high at the time of Totenberg's earlier ruling, the stakes this time are much more concrete. So wait, so you're saying, so Democrats should totally get behind this because you're saying that you were afraid that Russia was hacking the systems back then, but now you're not afraid in 2024 when more is on the line? That seems rather disingenuous, does it not? Does that not seem disingenuous to you? So what do they know that we don't know? Like somehow Russia can't now, but they could before? I'm not agreeing with them, people. I am making the logical fallacy argument here. These people are dumb. Totenberg, an Obama appointee, is known among those close to the case for her intensity and work ethic and as a quick study of the finer points of election technology. A Harvard law graduate, she joined the federal judiciary in 2011 after stints in private practice and as in-house counsel to Atlanta's school system. Totenberg's name already resonates in Beltway judicial circles, but mostly due to her elder sister, Nina, an NPR legal affairs correspondent. Okay. So this is the thing. Oh, here, I just saw this. I got to go down to this. The arguments she has heard in the last few weeks are the latest twist in the same case she ruled in 2019, but it now centers on the replacement voting machines Georgia purchased from Dominion voting systems for roughly $100 million that year. That's what I said earlier. That's what good old Brad Raffensperger did. So there are thousands of Georgians who take Mike Lindell seriously, Tyndall Gazelle said, referencing MyPillow CEO, MyPillow.com, promo code Lumberjack, who has helped Trump spread those debunked claims. Okay. Again, this is, Mike Lindell is doing victory laps right now because she actually stated in the courtroom that those who are saying that there are problems with the election system are not conspiracy theorists. Do you remember when Mike Lindell, I actually did a special video on that. I do want to mention my sponsor again. I mentioned him at the beginning of the show, but there's others on right now. Somebody said, I get silver. There you go. You can get silver maple leafs over there. You can get silver eagles. You can get whatever you want. I've got a bunch of junk silver too, like the old coins, 90% silver, gold, all of it over there. MidasGoldGroup.com. Text Lumberjack to 232-425. Again, that's 232-425. Or call them at 480-360-3000. You are dealing with veteran owners, not commissioned salespeople. I don't want this live stream to go too much longer because we've covered the information. I wanted to have good replays, so I want to keep it around this 35-minute. But I really want to thank you for joining me. This is big news. You guys saw the tape recording. If you jumped on the stream late, go back and check it out because there is valuable information in this stream. Go back and replay it. I shared a couple videos that are really pertinent, and also a recording by Fani Willis and the employee that she fired 2 years later, a whistleblower. And you've got to hear that phone or that tape conversation. It's imperative. Okay. So please share this stream out, share this information with people. We've got to build more consciousness around just how bad it is, how absolutely appalling what they're doing to Donald Trump is. If Donald Trump was guilty, I would be the first one to say, do the crime, you shouldn't get away with it. But the real problem is, people, even if he did, why is he the only one? Why isn't Bill Clinton in jail? Do you know that the Biden White House just hired John Podesta? Did you guys know that? In the chat, answer me that. Did you know that the White House just hired John Podesta? If you don't know who John Podesta is, if you don't know why that's so egregious, my Twitter, my X handle is in the description. In fact, I'll share it with you right here. Okay. And you go over to Twitter, you have got to get on there. And I believe I retweeted that today, but you don't even have to go to, yes. I see this in the chat. Why isn't Hunter Biden in jail? John Podesta should be in jail. Okay. But there's my Twitter handle. Follow me on Twitter. I'm always sharing and reposting good stuff over there. Pedo Podesta. I see that, Doug. And go look up Podesta and see the artwork that hangs in his home because it's all over Twitter, all over right now. Anyways, I love y'all. Keep fighting the good fight, man. We're winning this deal. We are winning this deal. Okay. Subscribe if you're new. Please support my sponsors, MyPillow and Midas Gold. MyPillow.com, promo code Lumberjack. Midas Gold Group, 480-360-3000. Again, you can receive free silver with qualifying order. Love y'all. Peace out.